Om Shanti, good afternoon, and hello to everyone. Thank you for making this time to be with us. And it's going to be a lovely session on how to manage our stress. So before I stress you out with all the information about stress, let us take a few moments to unwind and do a few stretch exercises. Very simple and very light exercises. So you can stand up now and very gently put your chair aside. And if you cannot manage the stretch exercises, just do what you can do and what you are comfortable with. So stand up straight with your legs apart comfortably. And now we're going to stretch our hands upwards and pull our chest back and pull the abdomen in. So let us begin. All right. So now we're just going to go up, stretch your hands up like so, and go out. Allow for the muscles in your chest to stretch and pull the abdomen in and breathe out. Let's try that once again. Breathe in and gently breathe out. I hope you're coping with that. Just want to put some music. Sorry, this thing is stuck. So now just let us move our head left to right very gently. Breathe in. Center your head and breathe out. To your right. In, breathe in. Center your head and breathe out. Now, your left ear to your left shoulder. Stretch your left ear to your left shoulder. Breathe in. Center, breathe out. Right ear to the right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, now put your hands up. Interlock your fingers, point it up. And go to your left, stretch. Breathe in and breathe out. To your right. Breathe in and breathe out. And gently allow for your hands to come to your side. Now, go back again. And exhale. Bring your one arm up and interlock your hands like so. And if you cannot, you can just put your hands on your shoulders. So as you do this, stretch, but allow for your shoulders to be down and allow for your elbows to go higher. This is a good stretch if you got a bit of weight on your back, just below the shoulders. That's where all the stress sits. Just hold it for a few seconds and relax and exhale. Now, the other hand, it like so. See that your shoulders are down, the elbows are higher. Keep on breathing in and out. Now relax. Straight. Stand on your toe. Keep your balance. If you cannot balance, then just take a chair and balance with the chair. We don't want any injuries. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. So now let us go to the lower limbs. Bend your left knee and stretch out your right leg. And just stretch. And the other side as well. Breathing in and breathing out. Just bend your knees and don't injure your knees if you cannot stretch. So just inhale and exhale. It's very good for knee problems. Good to keep your legs nice and strong. And so, you can then stretch over your shoulders, look over your shoulders. Center yourself. Exhale. Inhale. Over your shoulders again. Exhale. Now, this one is a tricky one. Just allow for your left leg to stretch, toes pointing in front, your right leg and your left foot pointing on the right. Sorry, my directions. And then put your arm inside your leg like so, and up there, and you go like so. Good stretch for yourself, allowing all the organs to work efficiently, releasing all the stress, and then onto the other side. For the other leg to the right leg to stretch in the opposite direction. Your left leg with the left foot in front, and then with this hand here, you go. Good. And exhale. Release all the stress of stretching. Now, let us stretch as much as we can, touching our chin, touching the foot, coming forward, stretch further front, allow for that spine to stretch a bit. We sit most of the day, so stay here for a few moments, breathing in and out, and then gradually come in, bring my legs together, and then gently bring myself up. And then let us finish like so. Breathe in and breathe out. Come back to center and inhale. And now give yourself a big smile and release all that stress.
Having rational, biological understanding of the human condition will completely
Okay, so we've had a little workout, and now we will go into what is stress all about. So I'm sure there's lots of people who don't have stress. And we know stress is an emotion or a physical tension. Yeah. So let us now just center ourselves. Let us come back to the present. Let us now just find our peace. Step into silence. Experience the stillness of the mind, the body relaxing, my breath coming to its normal, feeling relaxed. I am now fully present. So welcome once again. And, you know, I've actually seen saying that I'm too blessed to be stressed. So what am I blessed about? So there's many blessings that we can actually identify with in our lives. And just life is a real blessing. And so stress has been acquired. And so it takes a while to undo the stress. And so I'd like to ask a question to our lovely participants who always participate so well. Is there anyone who is not stressed? You can put it in the chat, or you can even respond, unmute and respond. That is fine. Is there anyone? Leka says that everyone experiences stress at some point. Yes, very honest. And when I was given this topic, and I was like not actually ready for it, and I wanted to help out, and I said, okay, fine, I will see how I can help with this. And there was a certain degree of stress, and there's so much information with regards to stress. So when you go into Google, there's thousands of definitions of stress. There's so much information about stress. But with regards to spirituality, it gives us clear indications and directions of where stress is coming from and how we can manage the stress effectively for the self. So, is there anyone here can relate to us as to how they feel when they are stressed? How do you feel when you're stressed?
Hello, Sister Indrani.
Yes.
So I was trying to get the computer ready to host this afternoon.
Yes.
And it just kept hanging for a long, long time. And I said to the co-host that I shouldn't be stressed because it's not coming on. But it was interesting that when I just kept saying to myself, it's going to be ready in time, peacefully, that I was able to manage. So sometimes it can be a physical stress like that, but you have to just calm yourself with the mind. And then the hanging stopped and it started working. So I laughed. I thought I'm hosting stress management. It was quite stressful to start off. Yeah.
Yes, the irony of it all. And I know the ones you were doing a course and I think you had a load shedding or something happened, but you were so calm about the whole thing. And we could feel that calmness and the peace. It's so powerful. So when I am in my natural self of being, really that calmness and the peace starts to emerge. I don't go into my habit of stressing anymore. Thank you for that. Yeah, so what do you do when you are stressed? We do many things when we are stressed. Any idea?
I eat. I eat.
Yes, we can eat, to make up for that stress. It's very comforting. Yeah.
I've got
And
Cadbury's and Lay's in my cupboard.
oh my, you got a tuck shop in your cupboard, looks like. Carol. Yes, we panic sometimes. Anita says we panic. Yes, that panic, it's a form of anxiety. And we tend to, bring up this panicking type of behavior, which can be overwhelming because it disturbs our emotions psychologically. And so, at this time, we have many sayings about stress. And so recently it was Mother's Day. And so, mothers were very sick and they ended up in hospital. And anyone can guess why the mothers ended up in hospital? Because on Mother's Day, the fathers actually cooked for them and they ended up having a stomach ache and they ended up being in a hospital. So that's what happened. Yeah. So perhaps their husbands were very, very stressed and perhaps put too much of spice or something in the food. Yeah. And sometimes you're so stressed, like Anita was saying that, we panic. There was this traffic jam and this lady was rushing somewhere and she was stuck in this traffic jam. And then there was another car next to her, the true story. And the psychologist was just sharing it with us. And he says, as he sat in his car, he saw this woman very distressed and he waved at her. And when he waved at her, she looked away and she was very shy. So then he came across from his driver's seat to the passenger seat, to make a conversation with her. But she was so shy, she moved away onto her passenger seat. So anyway, he kept smiling at her. And then eventually she turned down her window and he spoke to her. And he says, you seem very stressed. And she says, yes. And she had some problems with the son. And, he discussed that he's a psychologist and what help does she want. And in this way, she got a help. But I mean, in these days, you just cannot roll down your window. Maybe in those days it could happen. But when you're stressed, it's good to also find someone to talk to. Yeah. So there was another very interesting saying that I read was, we're having this load shedding now. And one of the humor we can use, we can use humor for stress. So this lady said, yes, load shedding is the only thing that our country delivers on time. So, just to make everything light, humor sorts out everything. So now let us see, stress is actually overload. And overload of what? We overthink, we overreact, we over speak, over speaking, too much speaking, overdoing, we always doing. And so how much quality is there? And so when when there's overthinking, there's no essence in our thoughts. And when we overspeak, there's no clarity in our words. And when we overdoing, there's nothing new, there's no creativity. We're just stuck in the same place, doing the same things over and over because it becomes a habit. And then overreacting. when we overreact, we are stuck in negative feeling or emotion. And this is actually not healthy for us human beings. And today, who is not stressed these days? Everyone is stressed. Even children are stressed. I asked a little girl, hello, how are you? Are you enjoying school? She says, I'm so stressed. And I looked at her and I said, gosh, if she reaches over 60, it'll be a miracle, because if children can have stress now, how detrimental it is to their health. So we have to really take care of what am I thinking, what am I speaking, am I reacting all the time? And I can use the different tools and methods that will be discussed later to actually minimize all of this unhealthy habits of mine. So, you know, at the end of the day, we do so much. So at the end of the day, we feel like we are squeezed oranges. So at least oranges, when you squeeze them, what do you get? Orange juice, yeah? But human beings, if they are stressed and you squeeze them, what would you get out of them? You will perhaps get frustration, anger, some sort of violence. And, you know, the natural nature of a human being is to love. And so to create this awareness, to go back to my natural being that peaceful, loving being. But we have to relearn all of that. It's just not going to come suddenly. And these days, we ask ourselves, why are we so stressed? Why have we reached such a state of stress? And then it's actually certainly connected to our value system. Yeah. So what is that value system that we're looking at? There's a lot of competition. There's a love of position. There's, you know, people have become very ambitious. Everyone wants to be successful in life. And this is creating so much of stress amongst each individual. And so it's like the more I have, the more I want. And the human spirit cannot fill itself through external material things and achievements. So the more I have, I think the more I am, but the less happiness I experience. And it's like the addict. The more the addict takes, the less experience he has. And then he has to increase the dosage of whatever. And so the same thing is happening to us. And then we become desperate, and we're needing more, we're experiencing less. And, you know, we want that happiness and pleasure, but the emptier we feel, the more emptier we feel, the more we go into the outside world to fill the inside. Yeah. It works the other way around. With meditation, we work from the inside out. And so when we cultivate and activate the inner qualities from within, which is not a quick fix, it's actually effort. We have to make time to sit in solitude, to experience those natural qualities and allow for them to emerge. And so when it emerges, other souls actually feel this type of vibration. And the blessing in return I get is a feeling of lightness, a feeling of love. So it's to practice that solitude, it's to practice the silence from time to time. So some of the new values will certainly help us to overcome stress, like sharing, respecting our talents and our resources with others. And, you know, we cannot reach our goals on our own. We have to work as a whole family, as a whole group, And when we work together, there will be success and we will all feel good together, although there will be challenges. But when we embrace everyone's uniqueness and differences, then there will be a sense of belonging, and the stress will be reduced, there will be cooperation, and there will be love. And so when there is a sense of belonging, the heart feels so good and so well. It generates so much of happiness and joy. And this is what we are needing in the world right now. And we cannot do it alone. We cannot achieve everything on our own. So therefore, we have to allow for ourselves to come into this aspect of cooperation and love. And the other aspect of overcoming stress is to examine what values I regard as very important to me. What are some of the values that I regard as important to me? Because values are a standard, and it's also a code of conduct. It actually guides me, and it gives me directions. And do I have value for time? So when I respect time and when I use my time in a worthwhile way, time will always be there for me. I will always have the time. For example, if I'm starting work at 7 a.m. and I'm leaving home on time every day for work, you will find that everything will be in my favor. The traffic lights will be in my favor. There will be perhaps less traffic. Someone will give me way. So I've created that energy, that vibration, and that vibration will return right back to me. So that valuing time and valuing also valuing respect, valuing silence, valuing other people, it's very important. No matter what a person may be like, just give that respect, irrespective. Yeah. So that respect you're giving, perhaps you're not giving it physically, but what thoughts am I creating in my mind? Am I creating peaceful thoughts, or am I creating good wishes? Am I not judging the individual? Yeah, I found that it works wonders. Just allowing things to be, not to question, not to judge, not to what you call it, sometimes we examine things in such a level, and we want to, it's a word, I can't get it now, but anyway, we tend to go into details with so many things, but just allow for ourselves to put a full stop to these things and allow the mind to become full stop, like a full stop. And later you will see what things we can control and what things we cannot control. So according to your values, according to my values, so will be my quality of life. So whatever I value, that will be the quality of my life. So as I use more positive values, then I will start to find more meaning and peace. And when there's more simplicity as well, when I'm aware of my positivity, I become cool and calm. There's a sense of clarity in vision and creativity. And there's contentment and confidence. And so a stressed person is very complicated. It's always wanting. And in simplicity, you find that whatever you're looking for, you would find it in your inner self. And there will be this inner peace, there will be this balance. So it's a lovely feeling. It's absolutely simple but powerful, and it allows for us human beings to become so dignified and very royal in whatever we do. You know, it's like a king. A king will never beg. Will never beg for peace, love, happiness, because it's absolutely full. You know, it reminds me of a little baby, and when that baby is full and content, it's so cheerful. It will smile, it will gurgle, and lighten up the whole atmosphere. So, am I filled with that peace, happiness, joy, all of these very fundamental values of the soul? And the way to actually fill yourself with that is to create awareness, a deep awareness of who I really am. And that deep awareness we can create with meditation. So now let us go into meditation. Let us become quiet, relax, allow for yourself to breathe slowly and deeply. Relax and think. I am a peaceful being. I am peace. I love peace. And I share peace with others. Feel this quality. Hold this quality with you. And so now, thank you for that. We will move on with the PowerPoint presentation, which is quite comprehensive and will give you very powerful tools to work with. And really, you will see where's my stress stemming from, and what are the signs and symptoms, and how I can deal with my stress. Thank you, Sister Dipti.
It's coming. Just give me a
Yes,
moment.
yes, no problem. We'll meditate.
Sister Indrani, are you
Hello.
trying to get the PowerPoint going?
Well, Sister Dipti is hosting, so she's trying to get it through. Do you have
She's
it with
lost.
you?
I do have it with me, but where do I start with Brother Charlie?
Okay,
Oh, she's back. She's back.
okay.
She's the host now. She's back. She must have lost internet. Okay.
Sister Dipti, you want me to share the screen?
Sorry, that was a technical problem.
Mhm.
It's a long PowerPoint, so I'm just trying again.
Okay, okay.
This is a beautiful practice to see how peaceful I remain.
Are you very peaceful? I can sense that. Thank you.
It's coming.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you all for your cooperation.
Okay, yeah, the next slide. Fine, thank you. So the 8 illusions about stress. Now, illusions is something that we perceive that's not true. And so it is illusion that you have to be a doctor to diagnose and treat stress. Stress is a normal part of everyday life. So, if I say I'm sick, stress is a form of illness as well. So if I say I'm not well, then that's not normal. So stress is not normal. Some stress is necessary in order to reach peak performance. That's also an illusion. So stress is purely a physical phenomenon, and that rest and relaxation will make it go again. So, many people are doing many things to overcome rest, but they're not finding any solution to it. So let us go on and see the other illusions. It is an illusion that a change in diet, a little jogging, and a good holiday will take your stress away. But you're carrying the same mindset, and physically you are doing something, but internally we have to do some work. Other people, situations, and events are responsible for your stress. So these days we're all carrying guns and we're pointing the gun to everyone and say, you are the cause of my stress. The weather is nasty. The traffic, there's a traffic jam. There's potholes on the road and this disturbs my peace. And so everything on the outside disturbs me. And that's an illusion. It's not the things on the outside. And so the other aspect we're looking at is you have to be working 14 hours a day and constantly meeting deadlines to experience stress. That is not healthy at all. So we cannot be a martyr and continue to actually create more stress for the self. That's not good. And you never experience stress. Yeah, that's an illusion. As someone said, yes, everyone experiences stress. So what is stress? Stress is a form of pain that comes to tell you there is something that you need to change. I was quite surprised to hear from Mike George. He says that he was at his workplace a very thriving workplace and very competitive. And he began to experience stress. And at the right time, the right things happened, and there was some program going on with the Brahma Kumaris, and he attended that. And then he realized that he has to journey within and really realize who he is. And he's the one that's creating the stress for himself. It's not something on the outside. And so you can see how this meditation has actually helped him so much. And he's become such an example of the teachings as well. So what is stress? Pain is a messenger that comes to tell you there's something you need to learn. So how am I going to learn this? I have to give myself some time for solitude, some time for silence, me time. So remember, as we're sitting here, it is actually me time to really learn about myself, to be gentle on the self, and to allow for the self to love itself. And the mental signs of strength for stress is there's a host of signs: tension, tightness, anger, guilt, criticism, tiredness. I'm sure you can identify with all of this. Worry, people worry if they don't worry. And worry is one of the things that people actually thrive on these days. And impatience, apprehension. Yeah. And then the internal causes of stress is change of attitude, how I'm thinking, jealousy, hatred, aspirations, approach. Yeah. These can be further summed up into ego, jealousy, greed, anger, etc. And these are the factors over which you can have control. Yeah, you can have control over these emotions. You can change them with having meditation and having self-realization. And then the physical signs of stress: increased heart rate, lots of heart problems with stress, stomach problems, digestive problems, diarrhea, high blood pressure, headaches, skin problems, alcoholism, ulcers. Yeah. So you can see how detrimental stress can be. And then the external causes of stress. It's in this fast changing world. We can see at what pace the world is going right now. There's fear of not being able to cope. There's a lot of rushing. There's changing standards of living. The media has a great influence on everyone. There's so much on media. There's overload of information. And the information we're having now is so worrying and so disturbing. And it's absolutely sometimes negative media. And this affects us psychologically as well. There's government policies, there's growth of population. These are the factors over which you have little or no control. It will go on no matter what I do. It will still continue to happen. But what I can control is my emotions and my attitude and how I can handle things. And then the causes or triggers: events, situations, and circumstances at work. Yeah, this could happen. Being fired, competing with colleagues, demotion, new job, conflict with colleagues, underqualified, noisy environment, incommunicative colleagues, not enough time. These things can take place and it can be very challenging. And then the causes or triggers and the events and situations, circumstances at home, death in the family, competing with no, that is work. We want to home. Causes or triggers in the home. The next slide, Deputy Ben. Yes, thank you. And the difficulties in in-laws, moving home, children selling home, and Christmas. Imagine such a joyous occasion and a joyous event we can have on Christmas, but that can be also very stressful. Money issues, all these are causes or triggers of stress. And so the next one is change. And we can see the state of the world, what it is like now. It affects the environment, the atmosphere, the ecology, the climate, and we can see, there's this climate change that's happening, but things are getting even worse daily. The ice is melting, the temperatures are rising. So there's lots of challenges that are going on right now. And the state of affairs, there's political systems, there's many things that are happening there. There's such a tug of war, and this is actually affecting the innocent souls at the bottom. And there's different cultures that we have to deal with. There's national and personal relationships, yeah, and the state of being, which is very important. What is my perception like? What am I perceiving? What's my awareness? And then the values that I hold. Do I hold on to my natural values? And then to create the deep awareness. Yeah. So 4 levels of stress that we undergo is spiritual, with regards to my identity, my perception, values, self-awareness. But initially, we actually focused only on mental, emotional, and physical. We forgot about the spiritual. And as we go along in life, we realize there's something missing. And then it clicks that I'm missing out on my spirituality. So your mental is thinking, discriminating, deciding, acting. Emotional is feeling, emotions, intuition, and the physical is body. So most times we spend a lot of time on this body. What shall I clothe it? What shall I feed it? And the body needs what it is made up of. So the body is made up of 70% liquid and the 30% is solid. So we spend a lot of time on this physical body. It needs attention, but we've actually forgotten our true identity, that we are souls, and to actually regenerate those values and create introspection and self-awareness to get back.
Sorry, Sister Indrani, can I ask a question?
Yes, sure, Sister Carol.
Sorry, Sister Dipti could go back to the previous slide. There's the 4 levels of stress, and you say they're under emotional intuition, feelings, emotions, and intuition. You mean, does that mean I ignore my intuition, and so when something happens, I feel stressed that I ignored my intuition? You perhaps know how that works?
Carol, yeah, good question. As we did the causes of stress earlier, how do I react to external things? So my feelings get disturbed, my emotions are affected, and then that intuition is not so sharp, yeah. So when there is the spirituality, then my intuition becomes very alert. It becomes very profound. I can use my intuition to control my feelings and my emotions. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So negative thoughts about the self, I'm not able to do it well enough. I'm not lovable. No one really likes me. And that's not true. I feel inferior and unworthy. I will never be able to change. And these negative things draw negative things towards us as well, negative thoughts. And then That's about the self. And what about the world? The world is in a mess. Who's made it into a mess? Good question to ask the self. The country is going from bad to worse. And if I'm going to create these thoughts, then definitely it will go in that direction. What's the point in me trying to do anything? There's a lot of hope, and we have to look very positively towards everything right now. Effect of negative thinking, yeah, feelings of hopelessness, lack of enthusiasm, no motivation, loss of self-esteem, prisoner of your own creation. So when we're in this negative cycle, that is how we will be thinking. So then we go into cycles of stressful thinking, yeah, feelings of panic, there's fear, there's worry, inappropriate behavior becomes, inappropriate, inept responses, poor, unproductive, there's not non-achieving. My thinking is unreasonable, it's negative, it's irrational, yeah. So cycles of stressful thinking can be very detrimental to one, yeah. And my positive thoughts of the self, I can do it to the best of my ability, and my ability to increase with experience. I can't please everyone at all times, and I will not be influenced by others' negative vision. I'm always flexible and ready to change. I have my own unique qualities and abilities. Is to really know your strengths and weaknesses. Positive thoughts about others. Each person has their own unique way of doing a task. So having respect of others as well, very important. If they cannot cooperate with me, I can show them how by cooperating with them. Now I can change and become better and be an example. Each person has strengths and weaknesses. Let me concentrate on the strengths to create positive relationship. Every human being have one positivity within themselves. It's only my perception, which is masked, and I see the wrong in others. I can learn from everyone while maintaining my self-respect. Yeah? I must be ready to learn. Lifelong we are students. Yeah, it's like Dadi Janki says, she was a student lifelong until the age of 104. And she became an icon of our organization, and she left a legacy. And then positive thoughts about the world. It is a complex picture of national and ecological relationships with a long history which requires understanding before judgment. Yeah? It's very crucial to understand every aspect of what is happening in the world right now, how people are behaving. We don't have to get mixed up with the politicians. Just do the best I can. Do what is right. Yeah. So the other day I had this lady of a very high caliber, but very humble. She came to do the course. And she says, there's so much corruption at work, and there's so much of conflict and negative things that are happening. But she says, I would like to do something that is right. And I want to become an example. And I looked at her and I thought to myself, she's got such great interest to change a whole perspective of life. At this age, she's quite elderly, and such a great insight. So yes, change can happen at any time. What most people do when they are stressed, jogging, aerobics, a whole vast of things, take tranquilizers, they sleep a lot, and then also take alcohol. But it's very temporary measures that will then the next day the stress is there. And then the methods to change thinking. Yeah. Positive thinking, visualization, and meditation. It takes a bit of time, but with practice and persistence and patience, we definitely get there. Sometimes we want results immediately. Yeah. So don't look at the results, just experience the process, and definitely you will see the light. I'm speaking from experience. For almost past 30 years, I'm still here. And so I am experiencing the fruit of everything, and just to make the effort and enjoy it. Yeah. And then the reactions to change. Yeah. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what. People will think about what they have to give or lose, yeah, or give up. People will feel awkward, ill at ease, and self-conscious. Sometimes we worry about society. What would they think? What would they say? But what about myself? You know, these days, people are standing alone, and there's no one to stand with them anymore, because if you look at COVID, yeah, whole families have been lost, children are on their own, like we say, one strength, one support. Yeah. So we don't rely on anyone else, just to allow ourselves to think, yes, I have God, who is one strength, one support, and have that great faith. People will be concerned they do not have enough resources. Yeah. How much do we actually need in life today? Yeah. The more resources we have, we can see the natural calamities that are here right now. We have more stress having more things. And when it's lost, there's more stress. So, we stop accumulating so much. When you take the pressure off, people will revert to their old behavior. So when you're not encouraging them to continue to do all of these things, meditate, think positively, it's very easy to go back to your old behavior. Yeah. And then people can only handle so much. Yeah. So we have to stretch this mind. We have to explore, because we have a mind and intellect, yeah, that we'll discuss later. People will feel alone even if everyone is going through the change. Yeah, you can be, like there was this one minister. She was telling me that, I work with 100 people, but I still feel alone. So there is the sense where we're yearning for that belonging, yeah, and that great belonging that can really fill the gap is the Almighty Authority, Supreme Soul. And why people resist change? Fear of the unknown, loss of competence, lack of clarity about consequences, threat to values, degree of trust in sponsors, not real syndrome, past history with change, lack of information, may really end up worse off. Yeah. So people want to stay where they are. They don't want to, it's very uncomfortable for them to create the change. From victim to agent of change. From victims, victims are always blaming, manipulating, fighting, criticizing, yeah. And to change agents, they become objective helpers. They are in the process of a helper, they are counselor, and they are stabilizers. They become a referee, that allows for peace and harmony to take place. Educators, giving people information, and energizer, creating zeal and enthusiasm in people and giving them hope. And the next aspect is how we are taught to be victims. It's all learned behavior as we go along. History lessons at school, our family, our leaders, the movies are the big ones, yeah? And Tom and Jerry. Yeah? We play our Mickey Mouse games. So this is how we become victims. Yeah, feel sorry for ourselves. Yeah, and we think that the whole world is against us. And the next aspect is we learn to become victims of our parents, our education, our culture, our government, our manager, our boss, our colleagues, our parents, again, and our personality. The other day, there was a very inspiring documentary by a lady who got a PhD at the age of 65. Her mom died at the age of 10. And she never became a victim because of that. And she had to look after 5 siblings. She was the eldest daughter. And she managed to get a job at a school. She worked as a clerk. She then furthered her education until she managed to do her PhD at the age of 65. So anything is possible. I don't become a victim of my situations or circumstances. I can really thrive. Stress management skills, detachment, be a detached observer. Don't get entwined into the things that are happening around me or entwined in other people's business, being influenced by them, filtering what is good and what is bad, and having controlling power. Don't allow for the mind to run in all directions, not to absorb what is happening around me, because that can be very detrimental to my mind and to my emotional state. And then just stabilizing the self. And how can we stabilize ourselves? We can see the tools that we'll go through later. And then, of course, humor is very, very important. Yeah. So there must be some sense of, lightness, easiness. Yeah. The creative process.
Sorry, Indrani.
Yes.
I think your volume or something. Okay.
Volume.
Is the sound on my side, or are people experiencing
Your side, your side is crackling.
Is there crackling sound, people?
Yeah, I can hear a crackling sound.
Yes, there is. I'm checking to see whose mic is open.
The sound is better now.
Better now, Sister Indrani. You may continue.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so stress management skills, we've done that, and I've spoken about humor. The creative process, very important aspect to take into consideration with regards to identity. Who am
Please
I?
move your mic. I think there's something making a sound. It's at where you are.
Okay, so is that better?
Continue to talk.
No, it's not bad.
Sorry,
It's a loud crackling sound.
I can hear the crackling sound from your side. Carol?
No, everything is closed here. My mic is closed. Unless it's my teeth, sister, with stress. Maybe my teeth are gnashing.
It's
Joe?
fine. Try Indrani.
Okay, let me try again. Yeah. So the creative process, can you all hear that clearly?
It's still crackling from your side.
What do you think, Anita? Is it clear or is it?
No, it's still crackling. It's still crackling.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know where it's actually coming from. Everything seems to be intact here. So, and now?
Maybe switch off your mic and then switch it on again. Maybe that could help.
Okay, let's see. And now, Sister Dipti?
It's still there. Let's just try continue. Try and continue, my sister.
Okay. Okay. So the creative process, my identity, values, what I perceive, thoughts creates feelings, my attitudes, my action, and my action creates my character. I am, I think, I think. Yeah. So you can see this creative thought process also creates my destiny. So whatever thoughts I create, whether it's confusion, whether it's success, that's how my destiny will end up being. So some of the acquired values that we have, identity based on profession, values of position, power, prestige, pennies, that is, wanting more money, religion, power, practices, principles, and our philosophies with regards to religion. We create our identity through that. Gender, and with regards to gender, the personality, power, prestige, and position as well. Gender-based, all these things regarding gender, women's love, and position in high positions, male or female has to get it. And then with regards to nationality as well, prestige, power, and pennies. These are all acquired values.
Sister Indrani, I'm just wondering if we need to do it a little differently because you're getting softer and the crackling is increasing. Maybe if I stop share
I can use another device, yeah?
See, she doesn't look stressed. Isn't that beautiful? This is a practical lesson.
You can't control these things, so you have to find other solutions. So let's see if I can use my other device, which won't take much time.
It may be the network, but let's see what happens. It could be your Wi-Fi.
I'm getting there, preparing the meeting.
We can see from what Sister Indrani has been sharing. When I speak, does it crackle?
It's crackling, yes.
When you speak, it's clear, sister.
It's clear when you speak, yeah, correct.
Okay, so Sister Indrani, use your other device. Maybe that will help.
Yes, I'm using the other one.
I think sometimes that happens when the network is not stable. let's see what happens when she joins from the new device.
Okay.
That's clearer. Thank you, Sister Indrani.
Yes, okay. So perhaps if you don't see me, it's also fine, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. So, these were the acquired values that we have gone through already. Thank you. Is the sound okay? Yeah.
Yes. Clear. Thank you, Sister.
It's
You
perfect.
are, oh, great. You are here now. Yeah. So the next slide. Yeah. The inner self, the thought power, what happens in the mind, we think, we feel, we imagine, and the form of ideas start to emerge. And that's all happening in the mind. And this is a state of consciousness that, the whole aspect of state of consciousness, the mind, the intellect, personality, and the impressions. And so the intellect is such a vital faculty of the mind. Yeah. It enhances the willpower, it evaluates, reasons, decides, discerns, and understands. And our personality impressions, yeah, whatever habit we create, yeah, there's a record of experiences, habits, tendencies, memories, talents, and qualities. And so this is the inner self. This is how we function, yeah, with our consciousness, with the state of consciousness. Next slide, Sister Tipti. Thank you. The inner and outer self. The soul will be the inner self and the body, the outer self. The soul is non-physical, it's immortal, never dies, it's eternal, it's conscious, constant self-image, it never changes its form, it's just that beautiful light energy and natural state of peace. It's just to remember that it's in the natural state of peace. And so the more I react, the more I lose my natural state of being, the soul becomes weaker and weaker. So the body is physical. You can see it on the external. It's mortal. It disintegrates, turns into dust to dust. It's temporary. It has no consciousness, changing self-image, and state of peacelessness. And next, the method of meditation. To learn how to meditate, you must have a base of knowledge, knowledge base on self-realization, realization of what thoughts I'm creating, realization of consciousness, realization of who I belong to, what are my actions at this time, realization of time. And so when I have knowledge, there will be realization, and then there is that experience, which also takes a bit of time. Calming down my thoughts. And so you can see there are different levels with regards to beta, alpha, theta, and delta. This is very scientifically done. And so when we have high stress, then the levels, you can see the levels of beta, 45 to 55, and so on, it goes on. So you can see when I am in the level of beta, yeah, and then when the levels are lower, I'm in my normal state during an active day. Then alpha is a little relaxed, yawning, drowsy state, going into sleep. And then theta is sleep state, and delta is deep sleep. And you can see how low the recordings are, 1 to 3. Yeah. So we have to calm down on such a level. Relationship between stress and meditation. Yeah. And that is a stress response. There is a machine that's called biofeedback. And I remember this machine used to be used in a psychiatric facility and used to give readings of where the patient is, how stressed or how relaxed the patient is. And it monitors the heart rate, the blood pressure, breathing rate, muscle tension. It comes up, the muscles become
Hello, Sister Indrani. I think it may be a network issue. Let's just be a little patient, or we'll do something differently. Sister Indrani. Hello, Sister Indrani.
Sorry, yes, I'm back. Network is giving a bit of a challenge here. Yes, so that was the relationship between stress and meditation.
Sister
Yeah.
Indrani, on the previous slide, can I ask a
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
So is there a higher adrenaline flow when you are stressed or when you are relaxed? So I'm looking, you got adrenaline right at the bottom,
Yes,
but
yes.
it seems to be
Adrenaline flow.
relaxed. Is it not when you are panicking, in a panicky state, that is the adrenaline flow that's higher?
When you are panicking, the adrenaline flow is higher. Yeah.
Would
And
that be in a stressful or relaxed state?
Adrenaline flow is high when we are stressed.
Okay.
It's a flight and fight mechanism.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
So when I look at your arrow, it says relaxation response and adrenaline flow. So we're saying that there's a lower adrenaline flow in a relaxed state.
Yes,
and
definitely.
There's okay, I kind of understand. Okay, higher rate when your relaxation is less. Okay, fine, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't explain that to you. Yeah. Yes. So bodily changes that take place during meditation. So these are all the different areas of the body, anatomy of our body. The hypothalamus of the brain causes the pituitary gland, which is the master gland, and the involuntary nervous system to bring about changes in the brain waves, and they become slower and deeper. Yeah? And you find that your thoughts are also slowing down. Breathing slows down, it becomes shallow, as it becomes much more shallower, and then the heart rate decreases and the blood pressure drops. Yeah, it's because the adrenaline is low, so the blood pressure will also drop. Low electrical activities in the muscles demonstrate marked decrease in muscle tension. Sweating decreases markedly. So when we're stressed, you find that we have sweaty palms and we sweat easily. And also the adrenal glands no longer produce stress hormones. Yeah. And their presence in the bloodstream decreases rapidly. So here's your answer, brother. Yeah. The next slide, Sister Dipti. We can go on to the next slide.
It's there, sister.
Oh, sorry. Meditation myths. Meditation means, this is a myth now. It's just like an illusion. Meditation means to stop thoughts. You can never ever stop thinking, because even in your sleep, you're still thinking. To meditate, you have to force your mind, not necessarily because you are relaxed at that time. You can't meditate because your mind is too speedy. Definitely, I've actually seen people where the mind was running here and there, but because of the patience and persistence, they managed to meditate. To meditate, you need to sit in a certain posture. Not true. You can sit on a chair. You can sit as comfortable, as comfortably as you wish to, and you can use any posture. To meditate, the surroundings should be totally quiet. Yeah? I become the master of the self, and even if the cars are moving outside, there's noise outside, I'm able to quieten my mind and not be influenced by the things of the external. To meditate, you have to close your eyes. Not true. And when we open our eyes, we are alert. And a natural practice happens when we have our eyes open. Meditation is good for you, but it is boring. We have to be creative when we meditate. Yeah, we have to enjoy that relationship with the self, to really journey deep within ourselves. It's like going deep into a lake and finding those beautiful gems that are deep down and allowing for them to emerge and experience them. And you find that, no one can actually do it for you. You have to create that creativity within yourself. Meditation is difficult. That is a myth. Lots of people will come and say, oh, I can't meditate. But as they go along, they enjoy it. Relationships, the giving and taking of energy in the form of love, light, and power. We can do it on a subtle level. Yeah? In our meditation, we can send out rays of love, rays of light, power, connect to the Supreme, and we can give these energies out. The next slide, Sister Dipti. Relationship with God can have a very natural relationship with God. It's just like how we speak to our Father, how we speak to a friend, conversation, like talking with someone who is always there to listen to us, trust, sharing secrets with someone you can trust. Whatever secrets you have, share it with God. You will find the solutions. Yeah, you don't have to go to a third party. Security, giving and taking love with someone who will not exploit you. Definitely, there's a sense of security. Absence of fear, God does not punish. Yeah? In fact, God will help those who help themselves. Power, the pure energy you need to renew yourself. Yeah. This is the purest energy you can get when you're meditating. Method of meditation, firstly, you withdraw your energy, you affirm your true identity that you are the soul, light energy. You focus your attention, bring all your attention to the center of your forehead. You concentrate on the mind. And if the mind is running here and there, very gently bring it back, because the mind is like a naughty child. Yeah. And the more it runs and the more you become stressed, the more it will go further away from you. But be very gentle with your mind and make your mind your own best friend and speak to it very gently. Yeah. Conflict resolution. The formula for conflict resolution is to listen, accept, acknowledge. There's many factors. Offer solutions, invite solutions, confirm one solution, agree on an action plan. Don't leave it hanging. Sometimes we are scared to deal with conflict, so we just leave it in the air. But it must conclude with an action plan. Thank you. The meaning of love. Physical is the meeting of bodies. Emotional is meeting of the hearts. And mental is meeting of the minds. This is all on the physical level. And on a spiritual level, we meeting of souls, soul to soul connection. Yeah. On the aspect of introspection, now a management skill enhancing objectivity, self-confidence, tolerance of ambiguity, Sometimes there's so much of mixture and so much of mixed messages. Can I tolerate that? We create a balance. Creativity is very important. And using my intuition, the more I meditate, the more I have a sense of what's happening. And then lastly, egolessness, to become humble and drop my ego. Yeah. What's your purpose? Yeah. Purpose, why do you exist? What are you trying to achieve? These are good questions to ask for the self and homework for the self, your vision. What are you trying to create? Yeah. Your mission. How will you go back? How will you achieve your purpose and your vision? Okay, thank you. Letting go, identifying with external roles, what I do, bodily image, what I represent, inner image, what I feel. Who am I? It's just not Dr. Dadi Janki used to have this mantra. Who am I? Who I belong to? What is my purpose on this earth? What is meditation? It's inner healing, inner dialogue, recharging the battery of the soul. Then barriers to meditation experience, outside noise and disturbance. This reminds me of a center in Bombay. Every second they had a train going past the center, but no one was disturbed. Yet it was so peaceful inside. Tiredness, impatience to experience, boredom from repetitive method, waste thoughts, too much thinking, less experience. So sometimes it's challenging for souls to sit at least even 5 minutes and sitting still. When we meditate, that stillness is really helpful to allow for us to settle our thoughts and continue our journey. The law of cause and effect, for every action, there is a reaction. I'm sure we know that by now, karma philosophy. The quality of an action depends on the motive. You are your own best friend or worst enemy, because I am the creator of my own thoughts. And in meditation, we call it yoga. Yoga means connection. And that connection influences, and that influence we experience. So when we connect with ourselves and connect with God, we have various types of experiences. Raja Yoga meditation, the different steps. Step 1 is the journey inward. Yeah? Seeing that I am the soul with such beautiful qualities. And then step 2, the journey upward to the Supreme Light, who is also the ocean of love, the ocean of power and purity and peace. And step 3 is the connection with the Supreme Soul. And Raja Yoga meditation, the journey inward, the conscious choice for connection with your original self. That is step 1. Step 2, the journey upward, the spiritual dimension. And Raja Yoga meditation, step 3, connection with the Supreme Soul. The connection between the human soul and the Supreme Soul is the connection between two, this is very important, between two pure essence-full beings. This is the most powerful connection a human soul can experience. So many souls come to the center to experience that, although they do it on Zoom. But this one soul said, no, I have to experience it at the center. Why connect with the Supreme Soul? It's to recharge the battery of the soul, experience of being eternal and imperishable, and to purify the soul. We need the purification at this time, purification of all the impure vices that we have accumulated and acquired. Meditation is for action. Thoughts are the seeds of actions. Change the quality of thoughts, and we change the quality of actions and interactions. Thoughts are seeds. Yeah. So this is the black stump that just got these little sayings here. Meditation is a great source of relaxation. Let your thoughts evaporate until only the most important ones remain. And I've left the iron on, and suddenly you have this thing that disturbs you. Yeah, I left this iron on. Levels of meditation: positive thinking, changing the quality of thoughts. You feel calm. And then with regards to self-awareness, you experiencing my true nature. When you experience that, you feel peaceful. Union with God, absorbed in the qualities of the Supreme. You feel absorbed in love, peace, and power. So we're coming to an end now. So a lot of reading and a lot of seeing. The journey of the soul. You can see from childhood to adulthood to old age. You are the creator of your own thoughts. Cycle of positive thoughts, powerful self-concept, and you can see what happens there. You believe others view you positively, you expect you will do well, you perform well, you fulfill your expectations, there's positive feedback from others, and you get back to your positive self-concept. The crisis of identity: how do I see myself? You can use that, quote those questions as your homework. How do others see me? How do I like others to see me? How do I think others see me? How am I really? Yeah, believe in yourself. Others will always see you differently. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now, finally, thank you for your attention, although we had all the disruptions. And so now we will do a meditation, short meditation. So let us sit comfortably. Bring your mind and body into a state of calm and peace. Focus on the deepest thoughts of peace, love. Reflect on peace in your inner self. Focus on peaceful thoughts. And let peace flow in your mind. I step into silence and I bring my attention to the center of my forehead. I see myself as a tiny spark of living energy. I go beyond the labels of my body, my name, gender, nationality, religion, and race. I am peace, love, happiness, and power. I am in a complete state of harmony. I feel these qualities deeply within the self. And for me to empower these qualities, I make a loving connection with the Supreme Soul, who is ever constant, ever powerful, pure. I absorb this rays that flows from God Himself. I create this connection very lovingly and powerfully so that I, the soul, am recharged. And when I am full of love, peace, happiness, and joy, I can then radiate these powerful qualities and values to my brothers and sisters throughout the world, to the 5 elements, allowing for them to become calm and stable, allowing for souls who are peaceless to feel peace, allowing for souls who are hopeless to feel the hope. In this space of mercy and love, I wish to hold on to my natural qualities and allow for myself to come back in that awareness of being that powerful soul. Coming back to this physical environment, feeling peaceful, full, and powerful. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Indrani. It was lovely.
Thank you, Sister Indrani. It was a full share, a powerful share. You did very well. Thank you. You are muted.
Oh, thanks, Sister Dipti, for your patience. Yeah. So all of these
Thank
things.
you all. Mm.
I must check the computer, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sister Indrani.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.